What's Next with Danny Coleman. Tonight, Danny's guests include just in time for Halloween, it's Mystic Morella herself, Media Maureen. And for all you ghost lovers, we have author and media personality Cal Schwartz. And for all you ghouls and goblins who just want to dance, we have the hardest working local musician, Rick Winnow. Hang around, have some fun, have some laughs, maybe hear a few jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your host, Danny Coleman.
Hey, hello everybody.
Hello.
We are here for show number 3 of
What's Next?
What's Next? We don't know what's next, but we do know what's next tonight.
We do.
Tonight we have Maureen Carvin with us.
Yes, we
Media,
do.
just in time for Halloween. Why do we both do? Why does everybody do?
Spooky.
Is that what it is? Is that the international
I guess.
for spooky? All right. We have Maureen Carvin. We also have musician Rick Winnow with us this evening.
That's right.
And our good buddy, the cerebral writer.
Yes.
I wanted to call him visceral.
Visceral?
Which I may do. Who knows? Did I ever tell you that story about the time I emceed Taylor Tote's
No.
CD release party? It was at the Two River Theater. Being a baseball fanatic when I was a kid, the Pittsburgh Pirates played in Twin River Stadium. So the whole time before I go on, I kept saying, here at Twin River Theater, no, I'm not going to do it. It's Two River Theater. Red Bank, right? Sure enough, I go out there. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Twin River Theater. Hello. I come off stage and like, well, at least I didn't say Twin. They're like, yeah, you did. I was embarrassed, but I think it's the only time I did it. And it was a packed house too, 400 or 500 people. So I can guarantee you when Cal comes here, I'll probably say visceral.
So Cal Schwartz is here.
He is. Cal's in the house tonight. Rick Winnow's in the house. Maureen, you guys are all out in the green room while we're in here. So on What's Next with Danny Coleman, which is brought to you by Neo Zoe Health and Wellness Center of Cranford, New Jersey, Maryann Castello proprietor, as well as Recovery Spot, New York City. Dr. Sony and Dr. Bienenfeld, right?
Yes.
Dr. Sony and Dr. Bienenfeld, and by our good buddy Mario DiBartolo and Monmouth Music, as well as the City of Angels, who we want to thank for letting us do this in their location every single week, as well as the Health and Wellness Hour and Rock on Radio. So, anything else?
Well, yes.
Uh-oh.
Today,
What happened today?
you sent me a friendiversary on Facebook today.
Ah, that's right.
Right? It's 2 years today.
2 years.
Yeah. And I'm going to leave you with this.
Oh boy.
Thank God you remembered. You know why?
Why?
Because I have a friend, and she told me her husband, we'll call him John for the sake of argument here, okay? And he didn't remember their anniversary. And she was livid. So she pulls the kitchen curtain, and she says, tomorrow, I want to see something in this driveway that goes from 0 to 200 in 6 seconds. And then we'll talk. So he gets up the next morning. He leaves for work early. All of a sudden she gets up. She looks, moves the curtain, and there's a box in the driveway, nicely wrapped. She goes outside. She gets the box. She opens it up, and it's a bathroom scale. Needless to tell you, John is still missing, and it's been day 3. Just so you know. So thank you for remembering me today.
Wow. Wow. Right? Rick, oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Rick and Cal are in the wings. I'll have to consult them on that one. I hear Cal. So,
and Cal remembered our anniversary today, too.
He did?
Yeah, he sent me one, too.
Well, let's talk to him about that. There you go. Well, when we come back, we will all find out what's next. Stay tuned.
Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle.
visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
All right. Hello, everybody. And as advertised and as promised, my first guest this evening, our first guest this evening, Mayor, is Mercer County native, Maureen Carvin. And Maureen is very special. Special. Actually, Maureen, Maureen is a medium. Right? Are we calling you a medium?
I thought you told me that, yeah.
I don't want to get the wrong title. I mean, I know that's what I refer to you as a medium. But Maureen and I are connected in a very strange way. And before we get to her, I'm going to tell you the story a little bit about how Maureen helped me admit things that finally made sense to me. People pay big money for that. I was coming out of a meeting that I was in, and I got this text message from a number that was not in my cell phone contacts, asking if I was going to come home or stay in a hotel, which I found very odd. And I said, I'm sorry, but I don't think that this message was meant for me.
Maybe it was an invitation.
Aren't you, isn't this Kelly? You thought I was, that's right. You thought I was your daughter. You thought I was Kelly. Kelly was in town. Now, her daughter has moved away. Her daughter lives in Nashville, and her daughter was in town, and you were asking if she was going to stay at a hotel or she was going to stay at your house.
But you weren't even in my contact.
And that's exactly right. Neither of us were in each other's contacts yet. So we somehow through the conversation, we put two and two together that I knew her daughter because her daughter Kelly is a musician, and me being a musician, we knew each other, and then you and I have been connected ever since. And
I forgot about that, but yeah.
I know. So Maureen has this uncanny ability of reaching out to me at times when times are darkest, or if I've had some unusual things go on in my life, and she will just sense it. I don't know how else to describe this, but how did you first discover that you had these magical, mystical?
I can't even explain it. It just happens. I don't know. Like you said, random stuff happens to other people. They're like, how did you just know that? And why'd you? I just believe the universe works the way it's supposed to, and we're all connected. And somehow, I had 2 near-death experiences, so that's, maybe I feel a little stronger, but I think we all have it. And I can't really describe it. It just kind of happens. And the best way I can describe it is there's kind of a space in between the space that I can somehow reach. It's like a connection we all have. But if I try to tap into it, I can hear things but random stuff like that, like I'm not even aware of it. So if I'm doing a reading, I can tap into it.
Well, for those of you who do or do not believe in energy and spirit worlds or spirit or fields and things of that nature, Maureen and I cannot even have a phone conversation because we cannot keep the cell connection. You'll hear cracking and popping and static.
That's them.
And and you would it's just a bad cell. How come it's only her? Somebody else can call me in between the time I can't talk to her, and we can finally get back in touch with each other, and the phone conversation will be fine, and I won't have moved. It's just those type of things. So you're kind of like the thing that I like about you is that you don't throw a shingle out and say, I'll read your palm for $20. You don't. You're just.
I don't want to. It's just too much. It's energy. It's just energy that you pick up, and sometimes it's too much. I don't know how to tell them, lights go on and off, and
Well,
I
there's,
can't even just, like,
you know, we've all heard about darkness and light.
mhm.
And in the spirit world, there's both. There's dark spirits, there's light spirits.
It's light, they're just lost sometimes.
Okay. And now you work, Maureen
No.
works in a cemetery,
Which doesn't help.
in an office in a cemetery where she is bombarded on a daily basis.
Not, you can learn how to tell them, not now. Like, there's ways you can, if you're aware of it, you can kind of talk to them, I guess, in my head.
Well,
I know
how-
it sounds weird, but
Well, how did you react when you first started hearing voices or when you first started sensing these things that you couldn't explain?
well, I was in a car accident at 21, and I was clinically dead. And when I came to, they said I'd never have children, and I mean, it was a really bad accident. But I saw my children, and I went to a place that I can't describe, but they were shown to me, and they told me it's not even telling you, it's just a feeling. You know, you had a choice to come back and teach. And then when I made it through that whole ordeal, it was really hard because I'd be in a supermarket and I could see, it was just like heightened, everything was heightened. And it was hard to deal with.
Now, when you say everything, what is everything?
Well, I could be in a supermarket and I'd be in back of somebody and I could feel the energy in his throat saying I know he's going to die, and I could just feel all this stuff and I didn't know where to place it. So it was really difficult.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary. Because on one hand, you want to tell the guy, look, you're going to die. On the other hand, you don't want to say a word, you know?
Yeah, I was too young. I didn't know what to do with it. It took a long time.
See, because, I mean, I mentioned earlier that for many years, I just wrote it off as monsters under the bed type of thing, you know? And you and I have talked, you know, at great lengths about the things that I went through from the time I can remember as a child until, you know, 4 years ago when you shed some light on what it actually is. You know, we all have, call it ESP, call it a gut sense, call it whatever, but we all have the ability to tap into energy. Our bodies are energy.
We're all
you know.
connected. It's who we are. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I don't even know what the percentage is. Art, have the staff look up the percentages of what the human body is as far as water. You know, what it made up of H2O. And what governs water? The moon.
Right.
So, you know, the moon, the tides, it's all connected.
Absolutely.
And you know, there are just some things that you can't explain. You want to. You know, science is always going to have an explanation, but there are just some that you can't.
Oh yeah.
You know?
All the time.
Maureen, as you can tell, she's very, very, I don't want to, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you're very unassuming. You're not out there, like I said, you're not hanging a shingle out saying, give me money, I'll tell you what's going on. You're
That's
not a
when
psychic. You're
That's when it gets draining. I don't want to be part of that because people come to me and ask me what's going to happen. And when you think, it doesn't work because I don't want to, I'm not responsible for their life. I will tell them what I get and let it go and they can figure it out.
and they can
But I don't want to be responsible for, you know, it's not my job to do that.
to tell them what to do.
No.
Right.
But
And that's true. But if you can make somebody think based on your reactions, hopefully they make the right choice.
they get it or they don't, but I'll tell it and I'll let it go because I can't
You know,
get attached to it. That's when it gets crazy.
in a little bit, we have Cal Schwartz with us
Yes,
tonight
we do.
as well as we talked. And Cal and I have actually been on a paranormal investigation, and it's fascinating. It's incredibly interesting. But when I met Maureen, actually the very first time I ever met you, then I didn't see, talk, hear from you, nothing again until that phone screw up with the
that's-
numbers. But do you remember the first time I ever met you?
Kelly's show, I believe.
Yep, at Killarney's, a local Irish eatery that
Oh,
just
okay.
opened up.
Oh, didn't I do a reading for you at the?
You sat down at the table, you said, wait a minute, I'll be right back. You got up, went to the bar, got a pen, and a bunch of bar napkins.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And you were like a savant. She's just writing stuff down.
Coming to me
Right?
at that moment. Yeah.
And she's like, the energy coming off of you. She's already had to ask me to leave rooms so she could do a reading on somebody else that was there because of the energy that she picks up. And is that easy? More
know
easy
when
with some people than it is others?
if they're open and they allow me to, and some people expect things and it stops the energy, so I can't, I just know I feel it and I'll know, if I do a group, I'll know where to place them because some people stop the flow. I just feel it, I can't, and if I feel drained, I can't do it. Has to flow or it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't even want to go into helping them where I can't.
Right. Oh, no, I understand. And it's just, I'm excited because Maureen has helped me in ways that helped me make sense of things that I never understood. And I understand them better now.
And it'll happen when it's supposed to. If somebody calls me like all the time and says, what should I do? It's like, oh no. It doesn't work that way and I'm not responsible for.
Just comes
So
to-
just let it go and they'll sometimes you have no choice. The phone will ring randomly and you have to help the person.
Right. Well, I get it. You've helped me more than once that way. Now,
Yeah.
what about things like tarot?
I understand it,
Okay.
but it gets in my way because then I have to think.
I don't
And you
wanna
have to
think.
remember,
That's true,
and
it's
it doesn't,
true, yeah.
and then I don't even.
Right.
I'll feel stuff from the tarot. I feel it, and I don't want to.
Well, that's the whole purpose of the tarot, right? It's that whatever card
tool.
the
It's a tool,
subject
yeah.
draws as the energy drew him to that, right?
But then you have to connect them all. You have to know what place what is in, and I mean, just did that because I was always curious about everything my whole life. You know, read every book, learned everything. Couldn't quite figure out why, but then you just learn.
Okay.
This age, just go with it and help who you can help and can.
Well, now, you've got with you here, you have a picture now, she always has a notebook with her because she will just
I'm
start
always writing it. That's
randomly
what
writing things down, as apparently Maryann found out before we went live on on camera.
Before I do a reading, I'll pick up stuff before I get here. They won't leave me alone sometimes if it's important. And
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Well, you have some pictures with you. Now, you have pictures of your mother.
Dead people.
Yes, dead people. You have a picture of your mother, the top one.
Oh, this is my grandmother.
Or your grandmother, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, your grandmother.
And she was I learned after the fact she had 9 brothers and sisters, and they all, 4 of them, no more than 4, 5 of them passed, tragic deaths, and my great-grandmother was very psychic, and she was always doing the rosary. And my grandmother would always show up in pictures. This is, is this it?
Yeah, we'll look for the camera there.
Deceased.
And
6 months, and she was at my daughter's communion.
6 months after.
And it was always when I was pregnant with my son, and then I died when I gave birth to him, too.
You have a
that
habit
was
of
the second
dying.
time.
What is up with that?
And I knew before I went into this, I'm like, something's going to happen. And they were like, no, you're fine. I'm like, no. But anyway, before I was giving birth to him, this showed up in the room. I had a C-section, planned C-section. And this is like a vortex of some sort.
And this
They
one.
just, there's a bunch. Yeah, this is when I was pregnant with my son, too. There's no windows there. It's a vortex. Again, looks like an umbilical cord before I get
And like you
grandma
said,
again.
most people get them little orbs in their pictures,
No,
or they
they
get a
show
bright
up.
light, and Maureen's got rocket trails.
Chemtrails.
I think she said my son because it's like she just showed up when I was pregnant with him.
Now, and I know you've also
I
had,
don't know, can't figure it, but
I know you've also had some bad experiences with this. I know that there was a friend whose husband, I believe, was abusive or something, and he passed away, but he wouldn't leave her alone, and
I'm trying to remember. I don't.
I
mean,
know
they
you
come
said you
to me,
got
but
sick
I
to your
know.
stomach when you were trying to help her get him out of the house, so to speak.
Stella, is that was that her?
Was that Stella?
I think it might be. I don't get too much of that, but I know when I've learned throughout the years how to tell them to go, and they don't really bother me so much. Like some people get in depressions for. And I remember doing a suicide once for a young boy who hung himself, and I couldn't get out of bed for like days. I actually felt him in my closet, and I talked to him, and I knew when I was releasing him, his mother came to me, which is horrible because I'm feeling the mother emotions. But I've learned throughout the years to deal with that,
Do you ever?
and don't allow them to consume me.
That's the key.
Yeah, to help them. But that was years. That was many years ago, like when I first started like learning how to control it, or
Right. Well, now, before we went on the air, you were, it's a shame that we didn't have the camera out in the hallway, because I know that you had Cal's jaw agape, and Maryann is quite pleased, and, you knew nothing about either of these people.
and I don't like to know anything. That's when it gets in my
That's what you want, exactly.
yeah, like strangers, and then I can get more like you forget it because I already
She knows you.
I'm done.
no stranger.
So, what, I guess, have you ever had just somebody come to you that was so difficult to read that you
Yes.
couldn't do it?
And I would be like, I can't read you. You got to go. And it's really, really draining. There's like
Had-
one or two,
Mhm.
and I could figure out why. Like one time, a woman came to me, and she lost her husband, and he was like in the room, and she was saying what a wonderful marriage it was, and he's naming names of things that were happening. I'm like, he was like a cheater and a liar, and anyway, long story short, her daughter came to me shortly after. I actually asked her, I said, I can't read you, so. Then her daughter came, Karen was her name, and I told her things. She's like, yeah, that was the girl she confirmed. But I it's like a waste of time to help somebody who doesn't want your help.
Well, and I also know that, as I said before, that we all have the ability to be psychic, not psycho, psychic.
It's intuition.
Yeah, well, yes, intuition, gut feelings, things of that nature. But there's also so many things that you can't. And I'll talk a little bit about it with Cal when he comes on. But on a paranormal investigation, he and we smelled things, we felt things, we heard things. So, believe it or not, non-believers, true believers, whatever you want to do, there is something out there that's bigger than us. Otherwise, there'd be no universe.
Right.
Just be blackness, I guess. I mean, I don't know. What would it be?
Connection. Everything.
And we're all connected, right? There are times that you've told me that, sometimes that you can't even, at work, they just are bombarding you, and I know that I know the time I visited you at that cemetery to talk with your coworker. And you said, I think I need to stay for this. And I'm glad you did, because the things that I saw. Have you ever seen apparitions or full?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They reveal themselves to you?
There's no rhyme or reason to, but they'll show themselves in ways that I can understand, or ways that will help me to tell the person what I saw, so they connect.
Okay.
There's no,
Nothing like, okay. Now, I know that you also do private readings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Facebook page or a website, or is it
No, I
just
really
word
don't
of mouth?
even, yeah, just
Because you
word of
really
mouth.
don't put. That's what I said.
No.
You're very unassuming about it. You don't really put it out there. But,
No, I don't want to.
Do you have a tough
much.
time this time of year with
Oh my
with
God.
Sanheim?
It's getting crazy.
Yeah.
And phones and, yeah.
Nice.
I'll
They do all crazy stuff. Randomly ring, they turn on, I can't even explain. People think I'm nuts, but they go through electricity and phones and,
Did your kids
All
think you were
sorts of
crazy
crazy.
growing up?
well, the funny
When they
thing
were growing
was,
up?
that Kelly was actually, like, she bought me a set of tarot cards, I think, like my 40th birthday or something. She had all her friends come over. Mom, you're so good at this shit. Like, all right, I'll just play around with it. And then, like it just kept coming true. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And then, where'd that come from? But it was true, and she pushed me to do that. And then my other daughter, she thought it was crazy. But then she got a job one day, and her manager was talking about this woman that she knew, and it was my name in Hamilton. It's like, oh God, that's my mother. Recommending me to go there. And then she started,
She
coming
became
around a
believer.
little.
Yeah,
But,
I get it.
they're all at their own level, and they all have it too.
Yeah.
They're all psychic. Crystal especially. Oh God, she's gonna kill me if she's watching.
Well, hopefully she'll be
She's the one that
watching.
didn't want to know about it.
Ah. Yeah, well, there are a lot of people like that. If they don't see it or hear it, it doesn't exist. Wake up, people.
Well, she used to see them in her room, and I'd sleep up there with her, and she'd say, "There's this woman here with it." So I'd sleep up there, and lo and behold, I'd see her too. So she's afraid
Very
of herself.
intuitive. Yeah.
She's
well,
afraid of it.
I understand.
I understand that.
Well, Maureen came out tonight, even though she's feeling under the weather, and I greatly appreciate it, Maureen.
See, I wake up when I could go into my own. No, I'm glad I did.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and hopefully, you understand that some of these things are real. And there are things that happen. You can feel that one of the things. Sometimes you feel like you walk into a spider web in the middle of like the street, so there's no spider web, or a breeze, or I heard Cal saying how he felt the back of his neck. He had the urge to keep turning around. There's energy all around us, people, and people like Maureen can help decipher it for you. So support your neighborhood psychic.
It's fascinating.
If I can help you understand yourself, that's all it's helping you.
That's the
not
thing.
think you're crazy.
I learned
That's all
so
care
much about me over the last 4 or 5 years that I've
That's
known
my
you.
mission, not to.
It really forces you to take a look inward and kind of look back at yourself and your childhood when you talk to somebody like Maureen, when you talk to a medium, or again, I'm not talking to some psychic that hangs a shingle out that says, $20 for a reading for 10 minutes. I'm talking about somebody who has a connection that unless you are open to it, you'll never understand. So thank you, Maureen.
Oh, thank you.
So much for visiting us and entertaining the crew and the guests
geez,
prior to going on
I love
air
helping
tonight.
people connect with themselves and figuring out.
There you go. All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
Oh, what's
Thank
next?
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, the Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
All right, everybody, welcome back. What's next right now is right here next to me on the couch. In between Maryann and I is visceral writer, author, media personality, Mr. Cal Schwartz.
I take my hat off, which I very rarely do, and because I'm honored to be here.
Oh, we are honored to have
Honored
you.
to be here.
We're honored to
In the
have
middle.
you. It's kind of weird, that I was able to secure your spot for this show tonight after I had already booked
Yeah,
Maureen.
it's really weird.
As I said earlier, Cal and I have gone on paranormal investigations
have.
and things of that nature.
It's
Yes, we
amazing
have.
how that works.
Maureen kind of dazzled you a little bit out in the hallway.
Yeah,
huh?
she did, and I'm a funny kind of a guy. I always used to tell people I'm really from Missouri when I'm really from Newark, only because Missouri is the show me state, and for me to be impressed or to believe, I gotta live it and breathe it and feel it and see it and hear it and whatever. And of course, when we were introduced out in the hallway, you know, she said she's a medium. I didn't know. I had forgotten that she's a medium, and then she starts kind of sizing me up here. And she was throwing a few things at me, and you were my.
He's a pretty big guy.
Yeah, and you and I had our amazing little experience, and with the cousin up there in heaven, but anyway, a couple things she's throwing at me, and nothing is clicking, and then out of the clear blue in the hallway, the hallway's blue, you know. Out of the clear blue in the hallway, she says, "And your wife is Frances." Well, that just. I mean, that's just,
Your jaw dropped.
yeah,
Over there.
it did. So I became a believer. She's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, first night I met her, she wrote down stuff, Cal, that there's no way, stuff I didn't even remember.
Yeah.
I was just, you know, but, and I only bring that up because you have a book, we have a book right here on
Yes.
the coffee table of doom.
Yes.
Which is called,
Vichy Water.
and it is your first novel.
My first novel.
And kind of through divine intervention, this novel came about.
Correct. I was not a writer. I studied science in college. I was a pharmacist, and had never written anything. Never took much English. And 10, 11, 12 years ago, I guess, or something like that. One morning I couldn't play tennis, so I turned on and I watched Casablanca. You know, life is so funny. I watched Castello for the 50th time because I love the movie, and I love Bogart and Bacall, but she actually wasn't in that. But I love Bogart. And there I was watching it at the very end of the movie. Bogart shoots the bad guy, and Claude Rains, this wonderful character actor, picks up a bottle of Vichy water to celebrate the death of the bad guy. It's 1942, the German guy. And he realizes, looking at the label, that anything in 1942 with the word Vichy in it, like Vichy water, means you were conspiring with the Germans, was a bad word. And he throws the bottle in the garbage. And it took about a second to hit the garbage can. And that 1 second, when it hit, I said, "Oh my God." And I screamed, and my wife yelled up. It was kind of like, remember Fred Sanford? "Elizabeth, I'm coming. Well, my wife yelled up, "Are you all right?" And I said, "My God, there's a novel in my head." And this whole thing, this 380 pages, was in my head in 1 second. Literally 1 second. That's how it all came about.
So how long did it take you to actually write it?
Well, I was working full-time in the eyeglass business, working for Luxottica. I was a regional sales manager, salesman. So I was working full-time, so it was 3.5 years, you know, and then another year and a half to edit. So it was a 5-year journey to do that.
Wow.
And there's one other haunting, and there's no time, unless we can, you know, do like 2-hour segment here. Is that possible?
Got
No.
2 or 3 hours for Cal?
Oh, all right. Well,
what do you think? You're the producer.
We might have to change the batteries.
okay, change the batteries. But there's no way I could explain, but the cover of that, with that bottle of Vichy water, 5 weeks after I came up with the cover, I discovered a picture of my grandfather from 1902 in Newark. A picture, I only have 2 pictures of him. Long story how that happened, but there's the picture of my grandfather in Newark in 1902, which I found, sitting with his 2 brothers on a table with a bottle of Vichy water. I mean, you know, you can't make this stuff up.
No.
And that's what I whispered to Maureen before she was leaving. It's all, you know, this is
All connected
it's all connected.
somehow.
But anyway, I'm glad to be here. Danny
Well,
Coleman.
we are honored to have you. I mean, so now you retired, you write a novel, you get involved with our good friend Kurt at New Jersey Discover,
Yes.
and you become perhaps, along with Tara Jean, one of the most recognizable media personalities along the entire Jersey Shore area, and in other parts of the state. You know, you do whenever you feel like it YouTube program.
Yes, yes.
There's no, set schedule, but you guys, I know I drive you crazy because I do no research.
I know. That's how we're different, but that's how we're so good together, because you do none and I do.
Cal was my co-host on Rock On Radio prior to Maryann, and then unfortunately when I moved, it was a really far drive for Cal, so he graciously stepped
There's a
down.
term for that, Danny.
What's that?
UGUD. Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear that? You know what it is? No, I mean, it is what it is. You were GUD, geographically undesirable.
Oh,
I didn't want to say it.
You could have.
see, that's how you can tell I don't go on like dating sites.
Oh, that's where I think I got it from. About 30 years ago.
Geographically
Yes,
undesirable.
I would have loved to have continued, but in my senior years, I'd like to drive less and less. But anyway, I interrupted your train of thought.
No, that's okay. That often gets derailed.
He's still digesting.
So, but what you do is, through New Jersey Discover, you found a place for your writing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do this YouTube television show. How many cable systems are they in? You've got like
the whole journey, it's so spiritual too. The journey, because it all. Listen, I met Tara Jean a little over 6 years ago, and she hired me to do some journalism. I was sitting home for a year after the novel was published. My wife, Frances, very supportive, said just go for it. And so I sat home a year trying to find myself. Then I answered an ad for Our Town newspaper, magazine in Central Jersey, and Tara was the assistant editor. Boom, she hires me, and 3 months later, on October 10th, I did something very important in my life, a spiritual thing. And the very next day, she introduces me to Kurt at NJ Discover. And then there was no design to anything. Everything just spinned and accelerated. And I started to do journalism for NJ Discover, take NJ Discover from being a wonderful media and production company into doing selected kind of news stories. So I'm running around doing stories of meaning that meant a lot, and got involved with homelessness and hunger and the environment and things that, and autism and things that
well, you're also heavily involved with your alma mater,
Yes.
Rutgers University,
Yes.
which this book
Yeah.
has been.
It was taken.
It's now in their library.
It's now in their library, and actually, and I might as well announce this on air.
Please do.
I'm now involved more than I've ever been involved in Rutgers, and I've been involved in Rutgers. Yes, I mentioned Rutgers 92 times in the book because it was something I had to do. I'm not counting, but I did a word count. It's 92 times. It's something I had to do. It's giving back. It's my alma mater. It's New Jersey, really. I mean, Rutgers is New Jersey. And it's, so I have accelerated my involvement with Rutgers because I care. And I love my state and I love my alma mater. So I started mentoring a couple of students, and now I'm actually mentoring 2 more students, so I'm mentoring 4 students. And I was asked to sit in on the Rutgers Alumni Association has a membership committee, and they installed me on that. And then my biggest honor, which I'm announcing here, the biggest honor I've ever received is 2 weeks ago I was approached by the New Jersey Digital Newspaper Project. It's a project that's run by Rutgers Libraries, the state of New Jersey, and the New Jersey Library Association. They take content, digital content, appropriate digital content, and they commit it to digital, and they have a advisory board that makes the selection of what content goes where. And that advisory board is made up of people who own newspapers, and people who are curators of museums, and a whole slew of PhDs, and Cal Schwartz from NJ Discover.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
Good for you.
So, for me, it's just, it kind of blows me away because it kind of, it's a statement. It verifies that, you know, I'm out there and the things that mean a lot to me that I've been doing. So it's a thrill to, you know, to do this stuff. And there's no design and
Well, what do you find, Cal, though? Do you find it difficult? Now, I met two of the people that you've worked with, the students.
okay.
And you brought them to one of the Rock on Radio Christmas Spectaculars.
Yes.
And they were incredibly nice
Yes.
young ladies who were in the broadcasting. What do you find is the most challenging thing working with college students?
Great question.
Millennials.
A great question. So we just did our most successful, TV show 3 weeks ago. It was called Successful Millennials Come to NJ Discover, and we had the global head of experiential marketing from Twitter, which is a huge position, and two Rutgers recent graduate students. And you had asked me, our show now goes out to most of Mercer County, and probably
Which is
Hightstown.
where we are right now.
That's
Mercer
right.
County.
The show actually now has grown. We go out to most of Mercer County. We go out to Old Bridge and Middlesex County.
We share Long Branch Cable.
And Long Branch Cablevision.
Long Branch Cable,
Yes.
Channel 20.
Correct.
So say hello to them guys.
Okay, that's right. So Long Branch. So and actually it was Long Branch Cablevision that came to me. We had a radio show a couple of years ago, and Long Branch said they love our content, and he approached me, Kevin, and said,
Great guy, Kevin.
Great guy,
Kevin
love
Sherry.
him, and actually he changed the whole course of things. He said we'd love to air your podcast, and because we were streaming it,
Right.
and he took it and he aired it, and I woke up the next day and said, I have a TV show now.
Yes.
And so it's grown.
Which the funny part is,
What?
you hated being on camera.
I-
when
oh,
it-
did I hate-
my God.
Hate,
I remember.
Hatred.
Hate is putting it mildly.
hatred. To the point where we had shot some pilots years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. We shot real pilots. NJ Kurt and NJ Discover, Tara and myself, and we shot pilots and expensive. It was an expensive production at the Bella Vista Country Club. And my wife was actually sitting there giving me all kinds of hand signals, which was annoying me and ruining my concentration. And of course I'm scratching my head and my nose and my ears and doing, and I'm probably moving my legs a lot because I want people in the audience to see my socks. And I went home and I looked at the raw footage and I called Kurt up immediately and said, I quit. I'm done. I cannot be on camera because I'm just not made for camera. But yes, you're right. So anyway, and we're also on Rutgers University TV and YouTube. So
You guys are everywhere.
but what I really, and I started mentoring these two amazing kids, and why was I mentoring them? Because I had this revelation, this epiphany, that the generation today, these kids, and I'm so involved with these kids, they're amazing, and when I grew up, it's almost a comedy routine, when I grew up, we had 6 black and white TV stations that went off the air at midnight. And you
Oh,
have the
yeah.
test pattern,
Yeah,
remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, so that, and then I also had for information, I had the World Book Encyclopedia. And that was my world. And their world is nonstop 24/7 input beyond comprehension, and they're just so involved. But I noticed something about this generation of millennials, and I'm not stereotyping them, but they're just great at texting, and our generation, I'm including you, not you, including you, but our generation, they text. Well, I'm smart. I'm very smart. I learned.
That's suave.
That's real suave. I'm smooth.
That's 2.
Yeah.
In this case, you're counting, it's 2 now.
But our generation, their generation texts. That's their whole world and absorbs. And my generation, we grew up talking,
Yes.
and that's where I can really help these kids in communicative skills.
Many of them don't have communication
Correct, they
skills today.
They don't.
Trust me.
They don't. And that's where I can help, and that's where I do help. and there's a place for me, and that's why I was asked to mentor, a few students at Rutgers, one in business and one in communication and media. And I never studied any of this stuff. I mean, seriously. I just live it.
Experience, means
So much.
So where can we get your book? Where can we find Cal Schwartz?
Well, it's an interesting, it's my first, I started a second novel. I think I mentioned in the hallway out there,
Yes.
the blue hallway. I finally, it's taken me a year to begin this. I've been wanting. It's a story, my journey to spirit, and my journey, how I've gotten here, in a fictionalized way. I have to fictionalize it because I don't want to get in trouble with anybody out there in TV land. So it's all fiction, but there's a lot of things. It's my journey. No, come back. No, I left you. Yeah.
You're getting in trouble.
You're
I don't
gonna
know.
be.
He ain't taking me down.
So, but this is a coming of age story. Two boys meet in a vacant lot.
Right.
That bell's tolling.
For whom the bell tolls.
No, it's funny. I was driving here, and I do a little meditation almost every day.
While you're driving?
Well, it's a different kind of meditation.
Okay.
I talk to the spirits in my life, and one of the spirits that I talk to all the time, and one of my favorite spirits, Saint Anthony. And Saint Anthony, the patron saint of lost things. But
That's the name of the church I got married in.
Saint Anthony's?
Yeah, St. Anthony.
There's
It's not here. It's right here.
There's the third.
Are you
There's
okay
one
with
right
that?
around the corner.
Yeah, Saint Anthony of Padua.
Right, and I was, yeah.
So I have a whole routine of all these different spirits that and as I got to St. Anthony, I looked, oh my God, there's St. Anthony's of Padua Church right here in
Right
Lansing.
around the corner, yeah.
So as I was reaching out, there it is. God, I'm a strange guy.
Well, we gotta wrap it up, Mr. Cal. I know we go on forever and ever and ever, but
This is on Amazon Kindle.
Amazon Kindle
Amazon
Wishy
Kindle.
Water by
Yes.
Cal Schwartz. And thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for making the trip. Thank you
this
for
is
taking the
wonderful.
time.
This is, thank you.
If you want to stick around so we can abuse Rick Winter.
I'm sticking around because I like to see Rick get abused. So I wouldn't budge.
Coming up next is our good buddy Rick Winnow, fellow musician, and we'll be right back.
Since 1987, Monmouth Music has served the local music community of Red Bank from their location at 30 Monmouth Street in the center of historic downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. Owner-operated, Monmouth Music provides lessons of all levels, beginner through professional, as well as brand-name instruments and a repair service. For all of your musical needs, go to Monmouth Music. That's Monmouth Music, 30 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Sitting to my right, your left, is Mr. Rick Winnow.
Hi, kids.
Rick Winnow is a fine musician in his own right.
Why, thank you, Danny.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you're most welcome. He's an original artist. He's also the sidekick of Pat Denizio from the Smithereens when Pat does his solo gigs.
Yep.
And things have all pretty much started to fall into place for you over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's had a lot of fun doing a lot of cover gigs, and playing with Pat is always hilarious. Makes me laugh.
I recall those days.
Yeah, good man. Very
Actually,
generous.
I played with you when you opened for him.
Yes, you
before
did.
you became his guitar player, huh? And he looks entirely too relaxed in this position.
Yes, he does.
He's like laid back. Wait, let me see. Let me do a Winnow. All right, man. What's
There
up,
you
man?
go. Like bookends.
That's right. Look at. Hey,
All right, Harvey.
Art, bring popcorn. Harvey.
Whoa!
Whoa! Let's go.
Just want to tell everybody before this happened, Danny. No, I'm not sure.
Yes, I groped him.
All right, it's not a funny subject, but it's... Hi, Cal.
Saying nothing.
So, you You are perhaps one of the, actually, you are the hardest working musician I know. You gig on it 365 days a year, and you gig how many of them?
Over 200.
Over 200
yeah.
gigs.
My body feels it at this point. I just turned 62, so it's like, oh.
So you make yourself sound like sour milk, like you turned overnight in the fridge or
Yes,
something.
no, it took a lot of years of doing this business to turn sour.
You know,
I still love it though.
it's fun, and it's
Richie
kind of,
still loves it too.
Yeah, well, Rich, our musical director, Rich Shalanda, is in attendance tonight. He is. Thank you very much. He was our international touring advisor. And,
I concur.
And he concurs quite often. And our musical director, Rich, did the great theme song that you hear at the beginning and the end of this program, which we thank you for,
Oh,
Rich.
thank you.
Very nice job.
But you work, and you were. I went out to see you recently, and you didn't take a break.
No, I started doing that about 2 years ago, and I think there's something wrong with me, to be honest.
I think you should be tested.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. Okay.
do we have the musician testing kit? No, but you played like it was a what was it a 3 or 4 hour gig?
3
and
hours
you didn't
straight.
stop.
Yeah. But what happened one day was I'm at Loretta Winery in New Egypt quite often, and I was like full of energy. I probably stopped at Dunkin' Donuts 2 or 3 times down the way, and
Really?
I started playing at 1 o'clock, and I finished playing at 5. And the manager came up. He goes, "You didn't take a break." I'm like, "I know." And then after that, it became a challenge, and then. Basically, if I do a 3-hour gig now, I play 3 hours straight, and don't know why. Maybe I should have asked Maureen when she was here, but explain that to me.
I noticed that Maureen didn't. She kind of kept her distance from you. What'd you do to her?
I don't know. She probably sent something. I don't think I ever married her. I think I missed her. But
She's pretty big. Yeah,
do I recognize the look? Who knows?
Yeah, you've had like what, 42 wives or something? You're like
41,
the Sultan.
Danny. Huh?
41? Or he's like the Sultan.
I'm a Sultan. Yeah, they've
But,
all. Listen, I have 7 wonderful children. You know, who can complain about that? Proud of each and every one of them. You know.
How many? Are they all daughters? Or you have a son?
No, I have 4 daughters, 3 sons.
4 daughters and 3. Your one son is a police officer, right?
Yeah, he's in town he's down in Freehold Township.
Well, thank him for me.
I will thank him, and he takes his sergeant's exam on Saturday. So
Oh, good for him.
he's in his 11th year down there.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now you are an original artist, and we're going to see Rick is going to perform for us very shortly. But you are an original artist. But of course, as is the case, you have to make
The money comes in with the covers.
with the cover material,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Do you mix your originals in at all?
Yeah.
I know you do. Like if I'm there,
You know when I'm, well, you
Right.
see me, but
because I'll give you grief if you don't.
of course. No, what I started doing basically way back when, I did bands for like 45 years, which is kind of crazy because I can't possibly be that old.
No.
But I did bands for like 45 years, and 3 years ago I was going through a divorce. Everybody cried. But
Like
well,
40.
it wasn't a great no, it was
No.
it was a rough one, but
Yeah.
rough thing. But I decided at that point I was just playing for, as they say, things and giggles, playing out once a month in a pub. And when everything else started to go wrong, I had enough things to take care of my family the way I should have. The way anybody that's going through divorce should take care of their kids. And I said, you know what? Now that I have time, let me try to do this full time. So I started contacting a couple places, and before I knew it, the first year I had 117 gigs. The second year, it went to 178. I treat this like an accountant because I treat it like a business. And the last year was over 200, and this year is going to be over 200 once again. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of driving. I have a car that's probably a little over a year old, and we're up to 40,000 miles already.
Well, you live up in North.
Yeah, I live up
North
in
Jersey.
the Clifton, Montclair area.
Right.
But next week I'll be at Havana and New Hope doing Pat Foran.
Oh, you're doing Pat's. When?
Right.
This coming Wednesday or next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday,
November 1st or November 8th?
November 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Road trip.
Road trip. Havana's nice. I go down here and it's.
Is this Cuba?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now that we've all settled, I'll pick you up some cigars while I'm down if you like, Joe.
Sure, Cohiba. Cohiba.
Cohiba?
We want. Ooh.
Ooh, he's getting fancy.
Cal wants the Cohibas.
Fancy. Yeah.
Cost you like 20 drachmas a cigar or whatever. What's the Cuban money?
I don't know.
Well, how you gonna buy anything?
Money. I don't know.
Count the Monet.
Monet. It's French, you know.
So you hook up with Pat Denizio.
Through strange circumstances, I was playing in his hometown, Scotch Plains, and a friend that I played ice hockey with walks in and hears Pat trailing behind him, and I said, "You know Pat? You know, from Smithereens?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, didn't you think maybe somewhere along the line you should have mentioned that?" And as well, we just played hockey. I'm like, "Oh, okay." But Pat was leaving that day, and he said, "Can I have one of your cards?" I'm like, "Okay, I know that my friend is a doctor for his family." I'm like, "Okay, he's looking for money off on the bill, and he's never going to call." Well, he called. He goes, "I'm playing in Crossroads in Garwood." He goes, "Would you like to open up with me?" And open up for me, rather. I'm like, "Sure." And then a couple months later, I opened up for him down in Asbury, and unfortunately, right now, Pat's dealing with some health issues, but back then he started dealing with an issue with his shoulder, and he said, "Can you..." Gives me a call one day. I see a call coming on my phone from California. Now, if anybody has gone through a divorce or anything else, you know, there's bill collectors, people want to buy your house, you know, they call from all over the country. So I'm
Hollywood
looking...
starlets.
Hollywood starlets, yeah, absolutely.
We've heard you're getting divorced.
Yeah, they all want to get on.
Wait, that's a dream I have.
Yeah, uh-oh. Are you psychic too?
I am.
Yeah, and there's some women out there that want to be number 42, so, you know, what can you... You know, you can't complain about that.
No,
You know.
of course not.
But, so, I look at the message. I don't pick up the phone, and it's like a message that's 2 minutes and something. I'm like, all right, this isn't somebody. And it was Pat. And, of course, being the person in the business that he is, he goes, "Hi, Rick, this is Pat from the Smithereens." And, you know, like he's on a radio show, but it was nice. "Can you come help me for 2 months?" Well, the good part was that I did come help him for 2 months, and the unfortunate part was he's still having an issue with his shoulder, and I've now been his guitar player for, I would say, 2.5 years, doing his solo shows. I've had the opportunity to play at the Iridium in New York City, Union County Performing Arts Center. Did his 60th birthday bash, Suzanne Vega, Southside Johnny, the Hooters, the Smithereens, of course. And
You've opened for the
Garland Jeffries.
Smithereens.
I've opened, yeah.
For 2 nights in a row, right? At
Actually-
the Wonder Bar in Asbury
Actually, yes,
Park?
this past July I opened for the Smithereens solo, which was a lot of fun for the Smithereens for the 2 nights that they did there. And, you know, it's been a blessing. You know, I want him to be healed. You know, I'd rather he be back to his full health and, you know, and not need me. But right now it's sort of, we're helping each other out. And, you know, and this is a guy who's in a business and made it. Smithereens had 11 albums. They've been together 36 years, 2 gold albums. It's just unbelievable. And these are guys from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, and they're all really nice guys, and they've just sort of taken me into that family of theirs, you know.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I mean, that's great. You know, at least one of us is having a rock star life.
Oh yeah, rock star, yeah.
I'm talking about Cal, actually.
Well, Cal, yeah. Cal's got a book. Cal's got Rutgers.
Cal's got, he's got people he mentors.
The hell do I got? I got
They
a
don't
Kia. Hey, it works.
Hey, they don't let that. Do you think they'd let us mentor anybody, you and I?
Me? No. No.
Why?
No.
Wouldn't you like to mentor some young children into, you know, students?
Oh yeah, no, sure. I would absolutely discuss the business, you know, with someone, give them advice. But main thing is about the music business. Stay in school.
Don't
Yeah.
quit your day job.
No, but honestly, get an education, because it's if you want to be in the music business, get your degree so you can teach if all else fails. Because it's rather rough there. If you know, it was explained to me. I had a nice moment. We did a show with Pat at the Union County Performing Arts Center. So you got to realize I'm the guy that plays the pubs and been doing that since a kid. Here I am doing a show now with Mike Peters from The Alarm, Robin from the Gin Blossoms, being hosted by Jim Brewer, and Pat was also doing the show. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Jim Brewer. Mike Peters from The Alarm is here. Robin from the Gin Blossoms is here. And Pat's sitting here, and I'm like looking up, and I'm like, how did this happen? But
Pinch
yeah,
me.
nice thing. I actually wound up. Mike Peters caught me going like this. I'm like, because I was actually there. What am I doing? How did this happen? You know. And Mike Peters, in his accent, goes, if I can do it, I won't say exactly. He goes, "What the f are you looking at up there? Could you tell me?" I'm like, honestly. I said, "You're here." I said, "Pat's here. Robin's here." I said, "And Jim Brewer's talking to us." And I'm like, it's just weird, you know. Then you have, of course, the green room thing with every booze and food you can possibly want. But other than that, Mike Peters, really nice guy, winds up saying to me, he goes, "I just heard you sing and, you know, play with Pat." He goes, "You belong here just like anybody else. We just got a break." And basically, if you talk to anybody in the business, that's what happens.
Yep.
Talk to Pat, he goes, we had about 2 weeks left, and I was probably going to call it quits. He goes, and all of a sudden, we get a call, and the album went to California. He goes, within 4 weeks, we're on MTV.
I remember him telling that story,
Yeah,
about
it's absolutely- it's true,
Yeah,
yeah.
how he said, "That's it, I got 2 weeks and I'm just gonna go back to being a garbage man." And
Yeah.
then in that 2 weeks, boom.
Boom, and they took off.
Smithereens were
Next thing you know,
international.
the Blood and Roses video was on, and it was all, you know. If you ever get the chance to see them live, and I don't mean it just because, I mean it's from a musician standpoint, because I've heard, obviously through my life I've heard a lot of bands live. What a powerful band, you know. I mean, they just kick it, and I saw them. They went, talk about playing for 3 hours. They went I timed it 3 hours and 20 minutes at their second show at Wonder Bar this summer. I mean, every Smithereen song you can think of, plus they even did the theme from Batman, which was funny. But they have a whole thing going, and Pat's, his energy is like unreal. All of their, you know, just great players, you know.
So how can we find you?
You can go, I'm right here.
For those of you at home,
You see a
type
black-
that in, righthere.com.
You see a black Kia driving around, just wave, it's usually me.
I got a
It's
Kia.
loaded with equipment. Oops, sorry, I can't tell those people.
What do you always say? Kia?
Kia.
Nice play.
There you go. I have a website, rickwino, WINO.com, which is short for Winowski. After me paying millions of dollars for management, they said, you know, take the ski off your name. And then I wind up playing in all places, and people introduce me like, "Hey, everybody, it's time. A couple songs from Rick Winowski." And I'm like, I just had cards made, for God's sakes, you know? It's Wino, you know? And then it's Wino, so, but yeah, it's rickwino.com.
I know.
Wino, yeah, those were the old days, but we won't talk about that. And then also I'm on YouTube, Reverb Nation, and that's about it.
all
Twitter,
places.
Facebook, everywhere.
There you go, Rick Winno. Well, you're going to do a song for us
Yes,
when we
I
come
am.
back from our next commercial. And what's
I
it
am.
called?
It's called Fallen. It's ironically, it's about relationships that last for a long, long time. You know. 2 years.
Ironically.
Ironically. Number 42. I'm waiting.
Well, if you don't answer those calls from California, the supermodels are.
Was that my phone? Okay.
Hey, I'm still riding a little bit of a high myself, you know. Carol Alt followed me on Twitter a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't understand why,
Wow.
Wow.
but she did.
Wow.
Yeah, and she hasn't called the police yet, so we're good.
Oh. You obviously haven't called her yet.
But she hasn't let me.
Angelina, I'm available. Just want to get
All
that
right.
in.
Rick, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, my
We'll let
friend.
you get up and we're going to play.
All
When we
right.
come back, we'll have a song from Rick Winno that's called...
Fallen.
There you go. We'll be right back.
Are you constantly living with dysfunction in your life? If so, there's help. Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living, is a very unique holistic wellness company that's here to help you preserve a healthy balance and eliminate any dysfunction. We use an individual approach through nutrition, massage, and various other holistic practices. You can restore your optimal health and a healthy lifestyle. Visit us on the web at neozoe.com or call us at 732-713-0123.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Since 1987, Monmouth Music has served the local music community of Red Bank from their location at 30 Monmouth Street in the center of historic downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. Owner-operated, Monmouth Music provides lessons of all levels, beginner through professional, as well as brand-name instruments and a repair service. For all of your musical needs, go to Monmouth Music. That's Monmouth Music, 30 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to close the show tonight with our musical guest, Mr. Rick Winnow, and he's going to do his song called Falling. And until next week, I want to thank again our sponsors, Monmouth Music, City of Angels, Neo Zoe, and the Recovery Spot New York, Mr. Rick Winnow.
Day after day as time goes on, the seasons it change one by one. Your eyes stay with me through the years like the sun. It's not just the things you say that make me want you more and more. It's not just the way you hold me when I come through the door. Guess I'm just falling in love with you once more. Falling in love again with you. Some moments they may be cloudy, and some nights they may be cold, but later, oh, that could never bother me, 'cause I have you to hold. Guess I'm just falling in love with you once more. Falling in love again with you. Moments they may be cloudy, and some nights they may be cold, but later, oh, that could never bother me, 'cause I have you to hold. Guess I'm just falling in love with you once more. Falling in love again with you. Yes, I'm just falling in love with you, it's for sure.